Stop holding people accountable. Now, when you first hear that, you might say, what in the world is he talking about? What do you mean? Of course, we're supposed to hold leaders accountable. We're supposed to hold people in authority accountable. We're supposed to hold our family members, our colleagues accountable. I recently have been reading a book called The 12-Week Year, and I love what the author says, Brian Moran. He says, look, you can hold a baby, you can hold a bag of potatoes, but you can't hold accountability. In other words, accountability is not this thing that you can hold. It's slippery. It's not concrete. And as a result, many times what people do is they say, you know what, we just need to hold each other accountable. What that is basically saying is, I'm not going to make a promise to myself. I'm not going to keep that promise to my own accountability. In other words, what we do is we blame shift. We blame shift and say, well, the problem is here that we're not holding each other accountable. So what we've just done basically is we've said, you know what, it's not my responsibility to own it. It's your responsibility for having me own it. And if I fail, it's your fault. You see that subtle shift? When we say that it's because we don't hold each other accountable, we're basically saying, you know what, I don't have enough character to make a personal promise to myself, and therefore it's your responsibility to remind me. And what we do is we distance ourselves from the responsibility. So, does that mean accountability doesn't play a role? No, of course it does. In fact, when groups of people get together and, you know what, hold themselves accountable in a community of other people, that's where the magic happens. Do you see the subtle shift? It's not just semantics. One is saying it's your fault because you're not holding me accountable. The other is saying I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm going to do that within a community of other people. And therefore, it's mutual. You see the difference? It's mutual. It's saying I'm making a personal promise to myself, and I'm giving you the right to ask me if I'm following through on my personal promise. Big difference. Big change in result. One is it's your fault. The other one is it's my fault. And that's where we need to end up. That's what leadership is about, with rewards and consequences. Too many times we live in a society where there are no rewards, there are no consequences, and everyone's just along for the party. And guess what? Things don't get done. Imagine them trying to put a man on the moon back in the day with no accountability. It just doesn't work. Imagine a teacher, male or female, in a classroom where, you know what, the students are not being held accountable, not to the teacher, but to their own personal promise, that personal ownership. In fact, I love what Tammy Evans says, one of the administrators at my kids' school. She says, kids own your education. It's not your parents' fault. You need to own your education. I like that. I like that personal responsibility, that personal accountability. There's nowhere to hide. It's up to us. But in community, of course, we want to encourage each other. Let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think? Do you think that accountability is a lie? Do you think that it's the truth? How do you do it? I'd love to know your thoughts. Take care. Be a soul on fire. And if you want a community of people that hold each other accountable, Igniting Souls Tribe. Get your conference ticket now, ignitingsoulsconference.com. We cannot wait to hold each other accountable to our own personal promises. Take care.